Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted.
Welcome back to the program. It's a pleasure to have you with us once again. It's certainly hot outside, so I hope whatever you're doing, you're keeping hydrated and making sure you're protected from at least the hottest hours of the day. It's a lot of fun in our city. There's a lot going on. And I thought to start the program, we would start with a bit of wellness, because we need that any time of the year. In fact, I think most of us now pay a lot of attention to the importance of wellness, of taking care of ourselves and eating the right things and doing a little bit of exercise. However, I think a lot of people, like myself, never actually get around to it, which is why it's wonderful to have people like my first guest come to talk about what it's all about and explain, I imagine, how simple it is to get involved. Thanks to my lovely friend Monique van Moorgestel, I'm welcoming today another person from the Netherlands, and her name is Joanna, or better known as Jogana, the yoga expert. Jogana, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice for being here, and thank you for having me here in your wonderful studio.
Well, it's my pleasure, and as I say, Monique mentioned you, and I'm always the one that's like, I really want to start doing something, but I'll end up sitting on the sofa exhausted after a day and just on my phone or playing a game and not actually moving. And yet, as we get older, particularly, I think it's something very important.
Yeah, it's really important.
When we speak about yoga, I imagine very difficult poses, and it seems like complicated. Is it complicated? Is it difficult to get going and started in yoga?
That is a really good question, and many times I hear the same thing, that I have to be flexible, I have to do all kind of difficult poses, but actually it's really simple. You can really adapt a pose to your body in any way possible. So it's just the idea of just getting started, and sometimes you have to try it out for one time, just join a class and just feel how the energies of the teacher, how your energies after the class. And you definitely after the class you will feel the many benefits of the yoga practice. And not only it's yoga, it's also movement in general. So,
I was going to say, what is actually the point of yoga, in the sense of why? What does it do? What is the philosophy behind yoga that makes it a particularly appealing thing for you to do, so much so that you want to share this with other people? Yeah, speaking from my own experience, because of course yoga is good for meditation, just to be focused, be centered, to feel good, to feel your energy flowing. But for me, myself, after many years doing and teaching yoga, it's actually, for me, yoga is life. It just helps me to be a better person, to be nearer in contact with the animals, nature. Yeah, that's it, actually. That's what it means for me. Of course, I love the poses, and I love the breath work, and I love the meditation part. And it's a combination of all those things together that, for me, has this magical energy. How old were you when you started to get into yoga? What was the attraction for you? When did that happen? It happened many years ago. I actually lost count, just to be honest. I only remember that I joined a yoga class for €1. It was because of a radio station that was doing something for a benefit. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to join the class. And I already read some books about spirituality and yoga, and my mother was into it as much as well. So I just did the yoga class, and after the class, I just felt so amazing. And I just started to do some classes, and then I replaced some classes, and then I ended up here, where I am now, being a yoga teacher. Yeah. Apart from teaching yoga, how would you say that your life has changed? The Joanna before yoga and Joanna since yoga, what aspects of your being have you said, wow, that has really changed my life?
Yeah, I was actually really shy. I was really afraid to speak in front of public. Just the idea of speaking in front of school, at a class, it was just incredible, nervous for me. So that way it changed a lot. I'm just more grateful for the things I have in life. I'm experiencing more contentment, more at ease. As well, you're getting more conscious about how your body is really a piece of art and that you have to respect it and that you have to take care of it. So it's creating a lot more of consciousness, of awareness of where you are in the present moment. And I can be like a little bit of a fire person, and I need that ease just to calm down a little bit. And it just also nourishes my relationships with other people. The community that I'm having here in Spain is also thanks to the philosophy of yoga, just to be grateful for what you have, be kind to each other. So it also challenges me to do the big move from Belgium, actually it is, to Spain. It helps me with my big adventure to create a whole new life here, yeah.
Well, it's really exciting that you're here because you haven't been here that long.
No.
How long has it been now?
Now I moved the 8th of October, so it's really recent. And I really left everything behind. My family, my boyfriend, who is still living in Belgium with his 2 amazing kids. So it's just recently, so I'm just building everything from scratch. Yeah.
So you've come to the sun.
Yeah.
But you've also, imagine, come to Spain. I heard you speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And you've only been here since October.
Yeah, but
you come from Belgium. It's not synonymous with speaking Spanish. how have you managed that?
Actually, my boyfriend, Sergio, he's from Brazil. And he lived 17 years in Argentina for Pilates and for dance. And he learned to speak Spanish. And we met each other during a yoga studio where we were teaching the both of us in Belgium. And that's how. I always had a passion. I did some courses online speaking Spanish. But then thanks to him, I just speak quite fluently Spanish. Sometimes the accents are difficult to understand, but I manage myself. I also teach in Spanish as well.
Well, that is fabulous because so many foreigners come and don't speak the language and don't try. But it's nice that you've come with that knowledge and you're willing to get in there into the local community of all nationalities.
Yeah, and maybe even with the dialect, the Spanish, like southern dialect, I really love it. Yeah.
So have you set up a studio? Do you go to people's homes? What's your philosophy? How can people get involved?
Different things. I teach online as well, different classes in small groups. I really like to have it small, to have it really personal. That's one thing. We also do events like a picnic on the beach with some dance. Soon in November we have an event together with Sergio as well. And I also teach especially private yoga classes designed, for example, for you, if you have some issues that you want to work on, you want to feel more flexible or more at ease. It's really a customized yoga class. And also classes especially designed for golfers to create more flexibility, to create more strength in the pose, and to create an amazing golf swing as well. So that's a combination of a few things.
Well, I don't think I've ever heard anyone relate the golf with this before, so that's an interesting aspect, that yoga and golf. But I suppose it's that suppleness and that.
Yeah, it's especially.
Do you have to sit in the lotus position?
No, that's what everyone is thinking. No, you don't really have to be able to do that. The main focus on those classes, especially for golfers, is to create more range of motion, just to create that amazing swing, to create core stability, to stand firmly into your pose, and also you need that openness in your chest to do that swing. So the poses are really adapted to target those regions in the body so that you can have an amazing golf swing and show off a little bit with your friends, of course.
As you're mentioning these things, I'm thinking myself that when they had a thing called the Wii Fit back in the day, which I absolutely loved, and I would try and do the yoga on that, and I realized then that balance is a big part of something, and also standing more on one side than the other, which in the long term can give back issues and pains and things. So there are lots of reasons to I suppose, specifically tone up different areas of the body, but gently.
Gently and at your pace, you know. So that's why it's so important to customize the class really personally to really feel the benefit of the pose. And after some 2-3 months, you will definitely feel that range of motion, that core stability. And as you said, the balance is so important. So you will be doing as well some balance poses, and we will just play around a bit with it as well. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's something that once you start, whether you carry on with your personal coach, but it'd be something that you then embrace and can do on your own. You can do it online. You can have all different ways of just keeping in it. And that community, as you say, that is just so welcoming of other like-minded people and professionals.
Totally, yeah. I just love it. I just love the community of all the wellness and the healthy food and the energy and the flow and yeah, it's a really nice community to live in and to be in and to create something and to give something to one another. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure that it's a difficult thing having this long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
But it looks like you guys have it well controlled. I'm glad it's coming over after the summer and you're going to be giving these courses. Anyone like to get involved with all these fun things that Joanna is doing, please do contact her. I'm sure she'd be delighted to help you out.
Yes, totally.
Obviously speaking languages and Spanish included and English. And, yeah, such a clever young lady.
Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to actually meet you, and I'm very grateful to the lovely Monique van Moorgestel.
Yes, I'm so
it took me a while.
for her as
Give us all codes how to remember that, because I know it's Monique, but we don't often say each other's surnames, do we, when we're running around? You see them on the Facebook and the Instagram, but we're not actually reading them. Kind of get an idea.
Yeah.
Especially when they're difficult foreign names. But, well, only because I'm English and obviously languages aren't our forte. What can I say in general? Joanna, thank you ever so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me
Enjoy
here.
your time on the Costa del Sol.
I will, definitely.
I can see that. I see that.
I'm just living the dream, and I'm grateful for my community and for my partner who really supports me, and we're looking forward to more, so we're ready, definitely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enhorabuena buenísima.
Muchas gracias.
Don't go away, back in just a moment.
Hey, hey.
A couple of weeks ago, I went to the shopping centre where Yanks is to record a little bit of the 4th of July celebrations because the American International Club of Marbella was celebrating there. And I had a chance to chat with their president, Luca Mavaldi. And he's sitting with me now, but you probably won't recognise him because when I interviewed him last time with my camera, he had this great little American get-up on. So he doesn't look the same at all, but now you actually get to meet the man behind all that wonderful get-up to celebrate. Lovely to see you again, Luca.
Thank you very much. I certainly look better in that outfit.
I don't know. I really, it's nice to actually chat with you. I thoroughly enjoyed the dress-up was lovely.
Thank you very much.
And it was nice to see so many of you celebrating an emblematic day, but more than anything, just getting together.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you're all there for each other and that there's a group, that there's a community between you.
Yes, indeed. It's been hard after the COVID for everybody. A lot of people went back home, and many people went to their countries. And the aim here is trying to bring people together. Either you call it a simple lunch, as we did, or maybe a big gathering. That's all about. In the next months, we'll see what sort of different venues we're going to organize. We're thinking about doing the big Thanksgiving, which it's kind of a national day in America.
A scrumptious day.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
I mean, I just love Thanksgiving food.
Thanksgiving is beautiful because it really brings people together, regardless of your culture and regardless of your religion. And that is why it's so special, because some people will not understand, will not actually agree with July 4, how independence was handled and so on and so forth. When it comes to Thanksgiving, it's a day of joy. And to really give thanks to the land that hosted us and welcomed us, you know, all the Europeans. And now we're all a mix. You know,
which is what's so lovely here in Marbella, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
you're thoroughly enjoying, because you're from San Diego,
California.
in California.
Southern California.
And so it's nice because we don't have that many Americans here on the coast. It's not as common as all the other nationalities. So it's nice that you have the club to get together. It's nice that you welcome all nationalities, but also nice that you bring a different take on life, because the American point of view, the way of doing things, marketing, growing up, the open education system to encourage thought, it's quite different. So I really enjoy getting different feedbacks, and I'm sure you apply that in your telephone teacher endeavors. I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
T-shirt and telephone teacher.
This is true. This is true.
Yes, thank you so much.
Tell us a bit about this. It's interesting that you can teach on the telephone.
Well, Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me. It is important to have this places where we can have some visibility, because we're so many people from all over many different parts of the world, and it's such a wonderful blending of cultures on the Costa del Sol. And sometimes we want to say, hey, listen, I'm from Southern California, right on the border with Mexico and the United States, and people from Morocco and people from the Netherlands, and so on and so forth. In this space is wonderful, because you get to know people from everywhere. And going back to that, it is precisely one of the things that I've been doing since 2006 in Spain. I founded the first online academy to teach one-on-one classes, language classes. Native teachers from Canada, the United Kingdom, the United States, South Africa, Australia, teaching English to everybody, to all students around the world. And then I added the French classes, then I added the Italian classes, then I added the Spanish, and so on and so forth. And it's been wonderful because it's student-centric. That's the method. We don't care about anything else. We don't care about the platforms and so on and so forth. We care about having a communication between someone that really wants to learn a language and someone that is proficient and a native speaker. And that's when we make this connection. And these people, once you start with one of our courses, is the same teacher for at least 6 months. And they really take you to places. They take you to different levels. And it's wonderful. It's fantastic, and it's been working out very nice. I remember I had to find a way to create my own job. Nobody wanted to hire me. Anyway, and it's in 2005, I said, what am I going to do? You know, I'm not going to work. And I remember I went to for a job interview, and I was only 30 years old then. And I went for a job interview, and I said, oh, I'm here for the job interview, sir. I said, oh, we said that we needed younger people. And I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? I consider myself young then. Anyhow, I said, I started convincing someone that wanted to learn English, but he wanted face-to-face classes. And I said, I called him on the phone. Why do you want face-to-face classes? Why can't we just not just practice on the phone? And you tell me, and in your safe environment, when you're surrounded by your own personal things, you can just pick up the phone and tell me about yourself. You're not gonna be feeling all threatened and all nervous because of the surroundings. I'm gonna be focusing on what you have to say and what are your fears about speaking in a foreign language. So that's how I convinced my first student. His name is Joan, and from Madrid. I will never forget him. He opened the door to, I will say, thousands of students, and now we have students worldwide.
So you obviously now have a team that collaborates with you to be able to look after all these people, so it's grown exponentially.
Yeah, we have teachers in Canada, we have teachers in South Africa, we have teachers in France, we have teachers in Spain, and the United States, and all over the map, and we just connect the people.
It's absolutely fabulous, and it looks like you enjoy it, and that's why no one would hire you. The universe had to create this situation for you to then just do something of your own volition, something that obviously represents you, because you love communicating or a good communicator?
Well, the teaching runs on the family, although if you see me, you will think nobody runs on your family, Luca. but it does. it does. My eldest brother, he actually founded a high school on his own, and he had no funding or anything, but he worked hard. And he was able to actually build something from nothing. He was the principal of that school for quite a long time. And then my other sister, she's also a teacher. And it kind of ran in the family. And when I had this opportunity, I said, let me do it. Because I noticed that Spaniards, they do have such a wonderful grammar level. I was so impressed. I went like, oh my God, I didn't know that, but he's right. He was pointing a grammar point, right, and saying, no, this is how it is, grammatically speaking. I said, oh, all right. Those were my beginnings, right? And I was so impressed. The quality of the grammar they teach in Spain is flawless. However, the moment they face a conversation in English, when they have to pick up that phone, some of the students say, Luca, I rather go to the dentist than picking up the phone and speaking in English. And I said, okay, don't worry. Do worry not. We're here to help you. So the student-centric based system that I created, it aims on the first classes to relax the student, to make them feel how wonderful it'll be when they start exploring a language that cannot be completely translated in what they already know. By learning a language, you open a different door to a different world. And that's how I motivate them and said, listen, don't do it for your job, do it for yourself. Find things that you really like and listen at those things in English, right? Try to enjoy yourself in a different language. You'll see how beautiful it is, right? And imagine every time you learn a word, it's like when you use new shoes or new clothing for the first time. You feel so proud. It's the same thing when you learn new vocabulary. Think about it like that. Change the approach. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at completely change.
Undeniably.
And that's one way that I've been using to focus my student on the beauties and not on the efforts. And it's been successful. Since 2006, we've been interviewed by national television, TV Española. We've been interviewed so many and here, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much here in Marbella.
Humbly grateful for the recognition.
And I love you to have me here, and it's fantastic.
So if somebody wants to learn basically any language, they can do this by telephone. Is this now also online? Have you adapted to embrace the new technologies, or you just keep it to just on the phone?
When we need it, we do, especially with children, because they need to be entertained. And they need a lot of graphics and moving things on screens. We do that. But in reality, I think what you need is understand, comprehend a conversation. So that's why we focus on what is it that you're listening at? What is your teacher saying right now to you? Are you being able to develop the whole idea and being able to reply to that? I want you to focus on that, on what you hear. And when you hear, you also make contact with your own inner self, and you're more in tune with what you're saying and thinking about that more than the nervousness it causes speaking in a foreign language. So ideally, on the first 6 to 9 classes, we never use the cameras, right? When they feel comfortable with it, they say, okay, let's use the camera, right? And share documents and share the classes and so on and so forth. So many things you can do nowadays. When the pandemic hit, we were ready. We were absolutely ready. That's when everybody turned into the online, and it was like a tsunami of calls that we had. But before, it was a long work of convincing people that you can learn a language. You can basically learn everything online if you have a good tutor on the other side.
I agree with you. I think we've all been able to experience this. I know whether it was a consul from the embassy or other people, that we've all travelled to go meet with people, when really a phone call, particularly nowadays with the technologies, is more than sufficient. We don't have to be up and down on the roads and wasting so much time.
Right, exactly.
When you can just go straight to it, and then online you can just do what you need to do. So do you concentrate on more conversation abilities in languages? Would that be, say, the forte of telephone teacher, getting all different levels talking?
Absolutely. From beginners all the way to proficient and bilingual. In fact, we have bilingual students that remain a telephone teacher because they want to keep on practicing, because if you don't use it,
you lose it.
Exactly. So they said, no, we even have some students that were born in the United States, and they call us and I need to keep on practicing. I need to, because if I don't do it, my life is in Spain, in Spanish, right? So I really need to practice it. And it's so important when you're working with a student, you say, listen, you must understand that you have to love your new self. It's not the same person who speaks in Spanish as the person who speaks in a foreign language. When you do that crossover, that's when you start doubting yourself. And you say, listen, all the muscles that are involved in the production of the voice in Spanish, in English, or French are completely different. So you will sound different. And that is something that you need to acquaint yourself with and learn to love about yourself. It's like you're on stage. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because you're a different person speaking in a foreign language, communicated in a different world to a different world.
That's a very important point I think you've brought up there, because when we speak a foreign language, I think half of the embarrassing aspect is because we don't sound like ourselves.
Exactly.
And so it feels fake, surreal. You're talking, but it's not oneself. And I know when I was learning Spanish with Miss Avis, but she would have us do 45 minutes a week of just rolling our R's. And at the time, you think it's just mental. But then when it comes to it, the fact that one can do the th and the double R's, it makes a big difference, and it makes it easier. And I see the same with Spanish people trying to speak English, for example. They don't have the sh sound.
Exactly.
They never say an SH, it just doesn't exist.
Right.
Or a D at the end of the word that's like bread. You know what I mean? It's like so different. And those are then, I think, the subtleties between really speaking a language or speaking the words, is when you can actually imitate. But it's that, isn't it?
Right.
You have to imitate, learn a new sound to incorporate.
What I say to students, listen, language, English or any language is something that you need to learn in chunks. Because if you learn something in chunks, then you will give musicality, continuity to your speech. But if you start dissecting and putting the syntax exactly the way it should be, then it's going to be such a hurdle for you to get through to the end of your story, right? I always say to them, listen, you think about it. When they start going in circles about an idea, listen, you pick one idea, put it in a bucket, all right? Think about that idea the whole time, focus on it, and go to the other side of the street and drop the idea. That's how I want you to express your point in English, objective. And at the beginning, you got to just put him on a kind of in a tunnel, right? I said, listen, let's just start with the basics, because they start deviating so much. Let's start with the basics. Let's just tell me an idea, okay? That's all I want. And then little by little, in 3 months, you will see these wonderful speakers of English in just 3 months, if you only allow them to believe in themselves. There are a lot of cliches here in Spain, but for instance, this is something that my students, or our students, tell us. Oh, you can't say backstage. You can say backstage. So why can't you say backstage the way it sounds? Oh no, you gotta say it like everybody else say it, backstage. But I say it's not backstage. But if you say backstage, they're gonna think that you're so pijo. You understand the word pijo?
It's like LinkedIn,
as
opposed to LinkedIn, and they're just in shock. They're just in shock that it's actually called. And when I went to England when my daughter's at university, having only had internet really since I've lived in Spain, I went into one and I said, "Can I have the Wi-Fi code, please?" And they just looked at me and I'm like, "The Wi-Fi?" And then afterwards I said, "Mummy, it's Wi-Fi."
Right.
Like, okay. Also with vegan, or vegan. I know vegano in English, so I'm saying vegans. But I was saying, "Mum, it's vegan." It's like, okay.
How about Google?
Google.
They will say Google.
Google.
LinkedIn.
But not Facebook.
No, not Facebook.
We don't. I say Facebook, but most people don't. But it's like we've got Facebook and LinkedIn. The accent's important, I think.
Oh yeah, I noticed that they have such wonderful ear for languages. It's just that they don't trust themselves because they feel that there is a lot of social pressure. That's what I meant to say, and I didn't. They feel a lot of social pressure that if they do it right, if they say New York, the way it sounds, they will sound fake, and people will start like, oh, it's not New York. Who are you? So people,
Yes.
And people, they feel afraid that people will start making fun of them, and they say, no, that's not. You have to feel proud of speaking a different language.
It's imitating the accent.
Imitating.
It's just become that person. Let yourself become that person. Go with the flow.
Exactly.
But it is. I remember just the last anecdote. My son was in a Spanish school and he obviously speaks English. And they were singing, oh, Christmas tree, but they were all singing, oh, Christmas tree. And then when they finished, it's like, sweetheart, why didn't you say, I'm going to be the only one doing, oh, Christmas tree? No, I go Christmas treed with the rest of them.
Right.
But it's embracing that and saying, no, I'm going to, as you say, New York.
New York.
Sounds
right.
weird. It's not the way you would speak it in your own language. But when you're speaking another language, you become the English version or the Spanish or the Italian or whatever.
I tell them, listen, if you're going to sing your favorite song, right? You don't recite it, right? You don't recite it, just sing it, right? It is the same thing when you speak a foreign language. Okay, you gotta just put your coat and just put on the coat and wear it.
And wear
the t-shirt in another language.
Proudly.
And I promise you, in 3 months, you'll be at a different level.
Are there terms, or can you start in the summer?
You can start anytime.
Well, call that man and find out how you can learn another language. Because aprender a hablar en inglés. Voulez-vous parler en français? If you'd like to speak another language, you've got the telephone teachers, means that you can learn from the comfort of your own home, wherever you want to be. And our lovely Luca Movaldi will be there to assist. Also, President of the International American Club here in Marbella. Luca, thank you so much. Gracias. Dankeschön. Brigado. Harasho.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go away. Back in a moment.
Alright guys, so I'm the designated driver tonight, so I'm going to choose the Zero Hero place. So all of my soft drinks are for free. And if you want to go somewhere else, just check out the Facebook, Instagram or the zerohero.es website for any of the bars, discotheques or restaurants on there. I'm happy to go anywhere you want to go, as long as it's Zero Hero.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Manu.
We are at we are at
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
music get to your heart.
I belong to a few groups that's nice to meet people networking. One of them is Business First with Sam Campbell. And through that, I met Robbie, and he works for Barbecue World, Furniture World, anything you want world in the home, they have it. They've launched officially their Barbecue World, which is in the Poligono in Estepona. And I went along to take a look and show you the amazing amount of varieties of barbecues one can buy.
We are at we are at we are at Let the music get to your heart. Let it set you on your way. No time to hesitate. We are all the same. So much trouble tearing us apart. Poison arrows shoot straight to your heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One. Let the feeling into your soul. Let it set you on your way. No need to hesitate. Time to make a change. There'll be no trouble tearing us apart. Brothers, sisters, one beating heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day.
Zero Hero, welcome to the Secret Garden. We welcome you.
It's a brand new. Hey, hey.
We're going now to the Paseo Marítimo in San Pedro to have a little stroll, take a look around and meet up with PJ Lopez. He is one half of the San Pedro Marbella guide with all information of things going on in San Pedro. And I'm particularly interested to catch up because between him and Hannah Lopez, who is also Talk Radio Europe, and the Quizmaster at the Hogan stand on Thursday evenings, they've added now merchandising to the site. And one of the things I loved the sound of was hashtag last night I dreamt of San Pedro. Hi there, PJ Lopez.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm delighted to see you. Too hot for the Paseo, but what a beautiful spot we found.
I'm glad you like it.
It is I like it very much. Your garden is fabulous. PJ, I was very excited to hear that the San Pedro Marbella guide has now started merchandising.
Yes, it was a natural progression for us because we've become quite popular now. A lot of people following the guide. We're growing massively on social media and we're getting some really good engagement. And lots of people love San Pedro, so we thought, why not some t-shirts saying I love San Pedro.
I think it's a fabulous idea, and I love the one that you mentioned to me, which is hashtag
last night I dreamt of San Pedro.
And who was that? You, Hannah? Who came up with that?
That would be Hannah.
She does, I mean, she does has the knack, doesn't she, for summing things up.
Yeah, she's very creative actually, which she has to be because of her job and her role. So yeah, she comes up with some great ideas.
For those of you who don't know, Hannah Lopez, the other half of PJ, or vice versa.
Yeah, aka Hannah Murray.
Exactly.
On the radio.
Talk Radio Europe brings Hannah Murray to you every day almost. I mean, she's especially...
Yeah, Monday to Thursday she does the afternoon show from 4 till 6.
And then also the fabulous quiz nights at the Hogan stand on Thursdays. Yes, that takes a lot of preparing, doesn't it?
Yes, from probably Monday through till usually Thursday. She's doing some last minute questions, I would imagine. But yeah, she takes it very seriously. There's a big crowd that go regularly. You being one of them sometimes.
I love going. I love going.
But yeah, she loves that. It's one of the highlights of our week, I should say, because I play on the quiz team and she hosts it. So yeah, really good fun.
It's a great evening, and you don't have to know a lot. And if you don't have a team to go with, just contact the Hogan stand and Hannah, and she'll put you on a team and work something out. So.
Yeah, you don't. As I said, it's all about socialising and having fun. Yes, some people take it seriously, but you know, it takes all sorts. But it's a great night out, and we've met so many great people through the quiz that we've become really good friends with. So yeah, it's really good social event.
When I think about the team members who now have to leave every 3 months, for example, I imagine they're going to be some of the biggest clients for your merchandising, because when we're not here, we miss it.
Oh yeah, well it's based on what everybody just keeps saying about San Pedro. As I said on the guide, when we put up a photo of the Paseo or a photo up of the boulevard, and there's just so many people commenting saying, we love San Pedro, we can't wait to come back to San Pedro. So we thought, well, let's make some t-shirts and some bags. We also have some bags, which I will show you.
Very nice.
So yeah, we're just trying to grow the different products that we have, but why not, you know, wear it and say it loud, as they say.
Yeah, and I think it's something that we can all be proud of. San Pedro is a beautiful part of Marbella.
Oh, for
more
sure.
Spanish.
Yes, and I like that. It's retained its charm. It's retained its Spanishness, if that's a word, but it's also now becoming very cosmopolitan. It's changed a lot, as you will know, over the last 10 years. When I first came here, it literally was a town, a block of flats, a nice beach, but there was no real promenade, there was no real chiringuitos. And now, wow, it's bringing people from other resorts. And we saw the turning point a few years ago. We used to see people getting in taxis, and when I say people, I say probably young ladies with their short dresses, high heels, toddling off to Puerto Banús for a night out. And now we see them arriving in San Pedro for that night out. So it's literally changed. So we're attracting all types of tourists and all types of people to come, and we've got some fantastic restaurants now, and they come and eat and spend a night in San Pedro rather than heading to other resorts. So yeah, it's great.
Well, it is good. It's good for the tourists. I'm not so sure us residents will like that it's getting more expensive with how more attractive it becomes.
Yeah, that goes hand in hand, unfortunately. I mean, I think Marbella has a price tag of its own, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, it's great for the businesses because you know, they can make their extra bucks on it as well. But you know, we know if you go to Malaga city centre, it's crazy that you'll get something half the price as you would in Marbella, but you're not in Marbella.
I know. Even the other day, I think I was not far from Marbella. I think it was on the way towards Estepona, and it was like so much cheaper, much cheaper.
Although we spent a day with I've got my family over at the moment who live in Torrevieja, but they're now down here just spending a few days with us, and we all went out to Estepona, and there's been a massive amount of renovation in Estepona.
It looks fabulous, I have to say. The mayor's done a great job. The place looks fabulous.
But the prices are edging up. It always used to be the place to go and get a really cheap tapa. Now it's getting a little bit more expensive and a little bit more choice though, which is good. You know, we ended up in a Mexican restaurant, so that wasn't there before, and it wouldn't have made it before. So yeah, it's good that these places are coming along. But San Pedro for me is probably the best place I've ever lived. It's got everything. You know, we're 3 minutes from the beach, we're 3 minutes from the town centre, we're 10 minutes walk, if you like, or 20 minutes maybe, to Puerto Banús. We're 10 minutes in the car to Puerto Banús. You know, we're so central to everything.
And as you say, we're still living in Spain, being in San Pedro.
Yes, so you've got lots of traditional tapas bars, especially when you just go off the beaten track, because they've done what a lot of towns have done. They've pedestrianised a lot of the town to make it more accessible for people on foot, and you're not dodging the traffic. And those tend to attract the more international style restaurants and businesses. But if you go off the little roads down the side, you still got your little fish restaurants, you still got your little tapas restaurants. So yeah, it's got its traditional Spanish charm.
So obviously PJ loves San Pedro. I love San Pedro, and we hope you will also buy merchandising of I Love San Pedro. What can we get when we go to the San Pedro Marbella guide? Give us just an outline of what we can expect to find there, so we know what to look for.
So on the San Pedro guide, which is sanpedromarbella.eu, it's essentially an English guide to San Pedro. So it has information about different businesses, hair salons, beauty salons, restaurants. It also has a blog section, so we try and keep you up to date with anything that's going on. And the reason we set it up originally is we would be walking along the boulevard and there'd be food trucks everywhere, and what's going on? We didn't know this was here, and nobody knew. It was just advertised in Spanish media. So we started to try and find out what was going on, and we go to various sources in Spanish to find out what's going on, and then translate it and put it in English so that people know what's going on. So that's where it all started. So yeah, you can, anything and everything you should be able to find about San Pedro on there. And we, as we said, we keep it up to date with news. So you'll always be kept up to date with events, anything that's going on the boulevard, hopefully, if they actually do advertise it, because a lot of time they don't. Concerts, I mean, San Pedro in the new Feria ground this year are holding a series of, well, they've already had the big reggaeton concert, which attracted, I think, thousands of people. I mean, they're literally people swarming around over that weekend, and they've got a big, the 90s, so they've got people like Two Unlimited and Technotronic and some of the old names that we used to love dancing to when I was younger anyway. So yeah, they're attracting a lot more international stuff in the concert area as well, so it just gets bigger and better.
It does. San Pedro has it all, and we look forward to everyone visiting sanpedromarbella.eu.
And there's a link to the shop, so it's on the same website. There's a big link on there to go to the shop, and it's just like any other e-commerce shop. You'll see the products, you can order what you want, you can put them in your checkout basket, check out and just pay with credit card or however you usually do, and then usually within a week to 10 days your goods will arrive.
Well, congratulations. Happy for you, proud of you both.
Thank you very much.
And may you continue to grow.
Thank
Fabulous.
You.
Hi guys, Kazatua is proud to welcome the Zero Heroes. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool.
Yeah.
Stickers going up.
Hey, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
I love living in Spain, and I love mixing with the Spanish people. Many of you have come to live in the sun and really don't get very involved. But those of us who do, I think, reap the benefits. Once again, thanks to the lovely Elena Olcina of Sinergias Femeninas, Feminine Synergies, a lovely networking group. I'm welcoming to the studio now a gentleman whose name is Rafael Aranda of Aranda Abogados. It's a law firm, and I'm very in favor of consulting law firms that do have their roots in Spain, because at the end of the day, if we're living here, those are the laws that we have to obey and adhere to. So it's a great pleasure to welcome Rafael to the program. We are going to do a Spanglish translation so that Rafael can be his authentic self and let his personality shine, and hopefully my translation will be acceptable and understandable. Bienvenido al programa, gracias por venir, Rafael, un placer.
Muchas gracias, Nicole, por invitarme
pues fue
a tu programa.
Ha sido, bueno, me encanta porque en el desayuno networking, la última de Elena, no tuvimos ocasión de hablar. We didn't get a chance to actually speak at the networking breakfast that Elena organized in the, un hotel muy bonito, a nice hotel in the middle of somewhere. I'd never heard of it. Nunca había oído hablar de este hotel.
Y un desayuno delicioso.
Delicioso. Really, a delicious breakfast, huge buffet, worthy of a 4 or 5 star hotel.
Y muy variado.
Super diversa. But we have to go back just for the breakfast. It was lovely to meet you, and it would be nice to know your particular take on law. ¿Cómo es el enfoque de vuestro bufete hacia la ley? Porque algunos centran en lo que es inmobiliaria, otros en ley criminal. Some people focus on real estate law or criminal law. En tu bufete, ¿qué cubrís? What do you cover in your offices?
Nuestro bufete no lleva temas criminales.
No criminal law,
no.
Keeping it nice.
No. Nuestro despacho lleva fundamentalmente temas inmobiliarios, compraventas, arrendamientos, asesoramiento general sobre el tema inmobiliario.
Well, it's very important for our region because Raphael's law firm actually concentrates on real estate. And with everybody buying, selling, renting, and everything that goes with that, it's fundamental, as I said, to really have the local know-how to make sure that you can jump all those barriers and all through all those hoops. Hay muchas barreras, hay mucha parafernalia, mucho papeleo en España. There's a lot of paperwork in Spain. Estando al tanto de una especialidad, being on top of a specialty, tiene que ser beneficioso, porque realmente estáis al tanto de todas las novedades por centraros en ese tema.
Sí, efectivamente nosotros lo que queremos es que nuestros clientes le facilitemos todos los trámites para poder comprar una propiedad o poder alquilar su propiedad, o si tienen un problema también relacionado con el tema inmobiliario, solucionárselo.
Well, Raphael's saying that obviously their clients, whether they're buying, selling or renting, they want to have somebody that can cover all the different aspects of everything that entails. And sometimes things do go wrong, and that's when it's important also to have your lawyer ready and waiting to do the necessary defense proceedings or take the legal actions to make sure that you get what you think you're getting and get the service you want. You're recently opening in Marbella. Recién vas a abrir un bufete en Marbella.
Sí. Yo tengo una experiencia profesional como abogado de 30 años.
30 years of professional experience already under the belt?
Yes. Porque yo empecé muy joven, con 24 años, a ser abogado. Y tengo un equipo profesional de 4 personas que colaboran conmigo, que están en mi despacho.
So Raphael started practicing law at the very tender age of 24 years. Now, all these years on, he's got 4 people in his team. And again, we're saying this expansion. La expansión atendiendo la demanda, supongo.
Sí.
You're expanding because the demand is there.
Ahora hay un nuevo proyecto para abrir, ya está funcionando el despacho en Marbella.
So the Marbella office, ¿en qué zona estáis? What area are you in?
Estamos en la Quinta.
Very nice.
Sí, pero
nice address.
Estoy pensando en abrir en un centro de negocios que se llama Oasis Business, que está ya en el centro, bueno, dentro del pueblo de Marbella. Pero de momento estamos en la Quinta.
So the offices are in the Quinta, but they're looking to go to the Oasis Business Center. Es muy bonito con los centros de negocios,
sí,
que nos amplía las posibilidades de llegar a la gente. All these new business centers that are opening up undeniably are giving us all more opportunities to reach a wider audience. Ahora mismo hay como una frenética para comprar y alquilar con la gente trabajando desde casa. ¿Lo has notado? Have you noticed that there is this enormous increase of people looking to rent and buy now over here?
Sí, he notado que hay mucha demanda de público, tanto español como ciudadanos extranjeros, en general también británicos, suecos, de toda la Unión Europea, que quieren invertir en la zona de Málaga y en especial en Marbella.
So Malaga obviously is a very interesting area. It's very popular. Marbella is, as we know, stands out on its own for everything that it offers. So it's important for Raphael that in his law firm, although he's not speaking in English at this moment, so we get to see the real Raphael, his team do, and they can handle all the different nationalities that are looking to come and buy something or rent something or sell something here and get the professional support and advice that we need. Mucha gente piensa, mi padre incluido en su tiempo hace décadas, de que podría comprar una parcela y hacer una casa y contrató el arquitecto aparejador y era un desastre porque no había un abogado por medio asegurando que cada uno cumplía. So saying decades ago, my father bought land and built houses, and although he had the architect and the different advisors, there wasn't a lawyer involved. So when anything goes wrong, it's very difficult to resolve. Si no has hecho los pasos con un abogado, luego es mucho más difícil rectificar y recuperar lo debido.
Nuestra función es facilitar totalmente al cliente todos los pasos para poder comprar su propiedad, poner todo en orden, contratar la luz, para que tenga una comodidad absoluta.
So, to conclude, one thing is guaranteed, that if you do your different administrative paperworks and get everything done with Bufetti, such as Aranda Abogados, not only will you do all the legal paraphernalia and documentation, but they will also make sure that you get your light connected and your electricity and everything is in order as it should be. With so many scams that are going on nowadays, I highly recommend, whatever you're doing, consult a lawyer. And as I say, I like the advantage that, as I say, even though Rafael isn't speaking English, his team does, but you have that real good know-how of the local system, which is the one that rules. Rafael, thank you.
Quería decir también que cuento con dentro de mi equipo con personas que pueden hablar inglés perfectamente para mayor comodidad de los ciudadanos extranjeros o británicos, y hacerle todo, digamos, nuestra función es hacerle la vida fácil para todo lo que necesiten.
So all those international viewers, again, all their staff do speak English. You'll have no problems. In fact, the opposite. They'll make sure that you have no problems whatsoever. Muchísimas gracias, Rafael.
Gracias.
But I hope to see you again soon. Looking forward to bumping into you in more networking of Elena Olcina. Do check out the Sinergias Femeninas if you've got any Spanish, and even if you don't, I'll be there to translate. But very cool people, a different slice of life, the slice of life of the Spanish resident, which I think we could all benefit from as international residents, to see what goes on in our city and who's who knows what, because that's what counts. Don't go away. Be back in a moment. Well, I'm back, but just to say goodbye. That's it for this week. The programme has just flown by. I hope you've enjoyed meeting my guests. It's nice to know what goes on in the heart of our city with all the different nationalities. You can watch recordings of the programme from the RTV Marbella.tv website. You can also go to my website, nicoleking.es, for easy links to the programme, also to my weekly column in the Euro Weekly News, Marbella Moments, and of course, of great importance, our zerohero.es website, with links to great fine dining, places to eat out in our wonderful Costa del Sol community, but the ones that actually also get involved with the community and want to reward, in this instance, the designated driver. So if you're the designated driver, go to the website, see participating venues and choose one of those to go out with your friends. Because why pay if you don't have to? Let them buy you a drink and reward you for taking the responsible position of driving the ones who are drinking home safely. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I look forward to welcoming you again next week for the last program of the season before we take a break for the summer. Bye for now. Hasta ahorita.
You'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna